Stop me if you've heard this story before. You're an American toy company, you're going around Toy Fair, and this cool Japanese company brings in some impressive robots. But not only are they robots, they're also vehicles. But you're not interested in the Takara booth with their micro-change and Diaclones. No, you're going to check out Bandai Popey, a company that's already proven their worth with their Chogokin pieces previously imported into Shogun Warriors. And you're going to import Machine Robo. You've got the toys, that's half the job. Now you just need a cartoon, and yeah, the legacy of Machine Robo is forever overshadowed by Challenge of the GoBots, one of Hanna-Barbera's greatest flops. Even dated by the standards of the time, the Hanna-Barbera GoBots cartoon has done no favors by Tonka's choice of taking the generic Machine Robos and changing them into Goodnight, Jeeper Creeper, Rescue, and Screwhead. Honestly, it's for good reason that GoBots have been the butt of the joke for every 80s toy fan, and especially for any Transformers fan for nearly 40 years, with their most dignified appearance being in the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special. But let's go back to the other side of the Pacific, where these robots have a little more dignity and a lot more class. There were multiple intriguing Machine Robo figures that were never released here in America as GoBots, such as the JAL Airlines exclusive Jumbo Jet Robo, a really hard to find premium that was only available through the airline. Blasting off, there's the Apollo 11 Saturn V Rocket Robo, which is a really interesting and daring design that was never attempted in Transformers. And for those feeling frisky, there's the International Man of Mystery, the Mini Cooper Robo, complete with a Union Jack.
Yeah, baby.
In my opinion, one of the best Machine Robo pieces is the SR-71 Blackbird Robo. An iconic jet of the Cold War era, vintage Transformers never attempted a Blackbird, making GoBots and Machine Robo a pioneer in this field. Blackbird Robo was going to be released as part of the GoBots assortment. She was going to be the Renegade Snoop, I guess owing to the fact that spy planes are a bit sneaky. This release was cancelled, however some carded examples actually did make it out into the wild, with one recently selling at the Mandarake Big Auction in Japan. And looking at that price tag, there's a reason why we're looking at the Machine Robo version and not GoBots. Despite having the alt mode of one of the largest and most impressive spy planes ever made, Snoop is actually quite small. This is because the Machine Robo toy line was actually made to scale with Matchbox cars, as well as other small toys like penny racers. Despite her smaller size, the sculpt work and detail is fairly accurate to the Blackbird, and this is even more evident when compared to her contemporary, that being Snapdragon. Transformers' sort of quasi-attempt at a Blackbird. Really, it looks a lot more like the X-Jet compared to anything else. But much like contemporary robots, she's more than meets the eye, and let's get her into robot mode, and she's still really small, especially compared to her big brother Snapdragon. However, despite her smaller size, the one thing I really appreciate about Machine Robo, and also by extension early Diaclone and Microchange toys, is how practical they are. The robot mode is composed almost entirely of parts from the vehicle, with the only new parts shown being her chest and her Cylon-like drone head. Much like the Diaclone and Microchange pieces that made up G1 Transformers, Snoop has next door to no articulation, with almost every single moving part being in service to the transformation and virtually nothing else. This isn't to say she's dull, in fact she's quite charismatic. She stands above the other GoBots and even some of the Machine Robo pieces. She has a unique alt mode and a very interesting silhouette. This charisma is also aided by the one good thing GoBots did compared to Transformers, and that was the fact that it was a lot more liberal with its pronouns earlier on. Despite being incredibly dorky, some of the most memorable GoBots characters are the girls, Crasher, Snoop, and Pathfinder. All three of these girls would eventually be added to Transformers both in toy lines and in the comics. And that's the interesting thing about Machine Robo. The original toy line from Japan is full of unique designs, interesting alt modes, and really finely crafted toys. Machine Robo is well worth collecting, but it goes to show how one major misstep in a terrible cartoon can taint a franchise for 40 years.